What's happening from New York City? On an early morning walk with my girlfriend. Thought I'd shoot this quick vid. Super excited in this moment to be in New York City. Mask is on my sleeve, not because I don't care. I'm very honoring of the social distancing and the mask wearing. I think it's super important to be a global citizen in that regard. And what's so cool about an early morning walk in New York City near the river where I live is there's nothing but space. So I get to walk around, enjoy the outside in a Manhattan setting with no mask. Una, do a quick spin around so people can see I'm legit. No one. There you go. It's important, and I think it's important that, example is a language that everyone can understand, and I want to be very clear on the type of example that I'm setting any video that I do. Now, I wanted to shoot this quick vid, and I wanted to name it Knee Deep in Should. Why do I want to name it Knee Deep in Should? I had the most incredible conversation with somebody earlier this week, and I thought I would share some of the learns that I had from it because I know that it shifted a lot of the way I was thinking. Thought I'd share it with all of you. Now, for an intro, I'm so grateful that I'm back in the salon, so grateful that I have a salon home to get back to, so grateful that I'm working with my own education brand, Urish Style, and I'm so grateful for all of the opportunities and work that I'm getting with L'Oreal Professional Products Division. And I got to tell you, it's all very difficult for me. Why is it so difficult? Because it's been a long time since I've had so much of an imbalance, whereas so much is in the unfamiliar and so little is in the familiar. And what I realized is in this conversation was that so much of my problems actually are rooted in this word should. Here's what I mean, and here's a couple of main tips that I took away from this conversation. First of all, no one can learn, and no one can grow, and no one can process in the past. And should is a word that puts us into that past, actually. And it begins this shame spiral. Meaning, if I should have done this, then what I'm presently experiencing would be better if I did that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And for me, what winds up happening in that shame spiral is first it begins with should, then it begins with regret, and then it moves into shame. And right around then is when I start beating up on myself. And I'll keep it in the eye. I don't know if it's the same for all of you, but I can tell you that from that perspective, no one can learn and grow in that type of soil. Two, something else that I learned that I think is super useful is that when it comes down to it, really should deals with the past. And it's very difficult to approach any problem from the past because the fact of the matter is we're no longer there. And in that moment, we can't really address what's currently going on in the present. Here's what I mean. When I say I should be better at Zoom classes, what that implies is that I should have, in the past, learned how to do these Zooms in a time when I didn't even know what Zoom was, and it was totally not relevant to my life. Do you see the problem in that thinking? Right? Obviously, why would I know how to do Zoom if it didn't matter at that time? If I keep thinking about should, it puts me back into that place. Very ineffective for problem solving because we can't go into the past to change our actions, and we definitely wouldn't be able to see into the future to a global pandemic where actually everybody would be on Zoom calls every 20 seconds. That's not a thing. So it moves me into a place that actually I can't really truly problem solve, and it takes me out of the present moment, which is very important, which leads me to my third point, which is really relevant, and this was like, really got me. No problem in the present is best solved in the past. All right, now what do I mean by this? I mean by this that to looking to your past experiences, and this is a trip, and this took me a minute to wrap my head around, dig where I'm coming from. If I'm looking to the past to solve a present problem, the fact of the matter is so much in the present problem is totally different than anything that I've experienced in the past. The time is different, the circumstances is different, the people, the person is different, my resources are different, everything is different, even though, and this is the trip, even though it can look very similar. We're always best actually only looking to the past for our experience. And then at that point, we can start using that experience as a launch pad for new and imaginative thought. To move past experiences and directly type to translate them into the present to solve a problem will be highly ineffective. it actually has a lot to do, come to learn, with our fear response. You know, when you're in true danger, you do need to go on autopilot because you'll die while you're reflecting on which is you should be doing, right? Now, while Zooms and Microsoft Teams and what was the other one? StreamYard, while they may be challenging, they aren't particularly dangerous, and I don't think any of them has killed anybody recently. So, for me to move into that space to try and figure out how to address it from that fear place is totally incorrect. And check this out, and this is actually a perfect example. I have over 15 years in education, facilitating classes, and facilitating education of all different sorts. If I took that knowledge of my facilitation exactly and moved it into a Zoom class in the present, I would actually fail. I need to look at education. Also, remember, I have a lot of experience, so that's a yes. And I need to use that experience to reimagine how I'll do it on this platform so that I can be effective. To move the exact skill set in will surely fail. So, what I might say, and that I came to that I thought was super useful for my processing, is that I am going to strive to shift all of my I should know that into I can learn that. And I bet you my entire life experience and my difficulty in this moment will shift in that very moment. I hope you thought this was useful. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of New York City outside. It's been a minute since I shot out here. It's been a minute since I've really experienced it, especially with no mask. It's a real gift. Uno, we got to come out here more in the morning. It's fun. It's fun, definitely. And listen, everybody out there, stay safe, stay healthy. My thoughts are with you all. Stay strong, and let's make sure that our shoulds are now transforming into coulds. Take care, everybody. Later.